The Snap does have a pretty good win rate though. In Division 1 it's 82%, so it's done really well. It's only lost 2 games in Division 1. It's been very, very successful hero.
I mean, I like it a lot here with the Rupture and the Coil. Like, you just drop the Mortimer Kisses on both those spells, and what can you do? If you don't have a BKB or something, you're gonna die. So the early game, this will be very threatening for one move.
That's a pretty interesting move from one move. So it looks like we're moving the Sand King into mid. Matchup against the Puck. We have Legion Commander, who's good catch for the Puck. Also good matchup against Bloodseeker in lane. But it is kind of interesting that you're willing to play Legion into 2 supports that really do mess you up when you go for these duels, right? Like, you've got the Viper could just lay down the break mechanic on you, and you've got Snapfire's Kisses that are kind of annoying. But
I mean, yeah, for sure. It seems that one move definitely prioritized the laning stage here.
Yeah.
And want to make sure that their off laner gets a good game. Mid laner, you know, that's the lane that's probably the easiest to win nowadays. You just get the bottle, refill it. Even though he might not win versus Puck, there's a chance he does. And if he does lose, he can just go jungle right away. The Legion does have, like, the downside versus with the duel, right? But at the same time, he also has to dispel for the poison.
Yeah.
So it can go both ways here.
Yeah, I definitely like it for the laning phase, and I think Bloodseeker is one of those heroes that you do want to attack his laning phase if you think you can beat it, just because that hero isn't like the most proficient farmer in the world and does like to kind of like snowball. So.
Radiant team ban.
Are any of these bans sort of surprising you guys, or are these things that you think are very much needed to be banned up against the lineups?
I guess they banned the Clockwork. There's still the potential of offlane Viper, and I don't know about, you know, necessarily, I guess 4 Clock and 3 Snapfire is also a possibility.
Yeah, Clock seems, I mean, it's just a Bane counter, I guess. They don't want to lane against it. Other than that, it's like they do have Sand King, they have Rune, and it's not like the best Clock game ever.
Yeah, and Legion's pretty good at just like fighting back against Clock, so it's just kind of weird.
We'll see. We just know that they need to carry on one move, unless they're doing something crazy here.
Yeah. Do you believe in this core Clockwork that's going around, mid-clock, offlane Clock?
If it's a good game for it, yeah, why not?
Yeah. It's like one of those like small upgrades that, you know, on paper, it doesn't necessarily look like the most, but it's happened multiple times, right? You give some ability, the like double damage on creeps, and all of a sudden it just adds an extra bit of viability of playing core on that hero. Happened to Chaos Knight, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Clock has its place as a core in some games. Especially because it can farm a little bit now. Doom in the offlane, it looks like. So Viper will be the POS 5. Unless they're feeling like switching lanes around and putting Snap as a 5 and Viper in the offlane. Which might make more sense because I don't think the Viper wants to play versus the Legion. Yeah, because he can remove the stacks of poison. But I don't know, I still think that lane could be particularly hard for the Legion commander to fight into like another toxin plus the poison. You can dispel it once, but he can just buy mangoes and keep reapplying it, so it might not be the biggest deal. But if they want to dodge it, they potentially can. I think it really depends on the last pick here.
Is there a standout last pick for you guys, something gotcha that you think goes for one move?
I still think the Lifesteal and Jug look really good here. I would have suggested something like, you know, the Wraith King's banned, the Jug's banned, never mind, so I guess there's no Lifesteal, the Terrorblade's banned. Like a lot of these heroes that you would want to pick, you can't. Potentially Ursa could be good here too. I think that's the Doom.
What I really like about it is that I hope Rune Eaters have the ability to do like Snapfire 5 and 3 Viper. So if they do pick, you know, like you know, some melee hero that was really abused by offlane Viper, just run 4 Doom and 3 Viper.
They have all their bases covered if they pick Lifestealer right now, though.
Yeah.
Good versus Viper, good versus Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sold. I think Lifestealer's the pick here. Oh, I forgot about that guy. They did this last time.
Yeah, the outrange.
How could you forget they had the Sniper Pudge?
Yeah, I mean, that hero, if he gets ruptured, though, it's all done. And Bloodseeker's pretty fast, so as usual, Sniper's going to be a risky pick, no matter however you pick this guy. You don't see him too much for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been liking Sniper lately, and they've got 2 pretty decent frontliners to force action away from him. So I think I like one move here.
All right, I want to bring in Mike and John, our beautiful duo for this series. Mike, please start. I don't want to talk to John. He abandoned us yesterday, so we're going to start with you, Mike, for your thoughts on this.
Oh, thank you very much. I do appreciate you just kind of, giving crap to John there. Now, thank you for that. Rune Eaters, this draft from Rune Eaters, like, they've got 2 stuns. I feel like it's a little bit too greedy. They might win lanes, but I feel like one move's going to have this one in the end.
Mm-hmm. Are you the same, John?
Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, I like the sniper pickup from one move. They pulled this out a couple of times. I think the last time it wasn't Knight playing, though. They put it on offlane. They had a core Pudge safe. So flexing it around a bit, I can't help but cheer for Sniper. I like the guy. What can you say?
Okay, I feel like this is definitely going to turn into some caster curse thing. So instead, for my sign-up question, I'm going to ask who's going to get the first Roche? Which team?
First Roshan?
Yep.
I mean, Rune Eaters is Radiant, right? I think probably Rune Eaters.
Yeah, I mean, neither one of them has like the best Roshan potential, so I guess you kind of go with Radiant.
Alrighty, well, we are jumping into game on. Mike and John, I'll leave you with the same question as you do. Jump into it.
Oh, thank you so much, Nat. John, let me tell you, I know the reason why Nat doesn't want all the casters and panel to talk about the which team's going to win. Because yesterday, Jonathan, while I was casting 9 games of SEA Dota while you were on vacation at the beach,
Yes, sir.
I literally got every prediction wrong. Every single one. Every single one. I felt so bad. Every time I'd say one thing, the opposite would happen. I didn't even want to predict anymore. I'm done with it. Let it be known, though, I have predicted one move for this game number 1. So if you're a Rune Eater better, you're going to be very happy today, I'm sure.
They would be. And you know why, Mikey? You know why it fell flat? Because you didn't have me to counteract that. Still smoke on smoke here. But no stuns. So
you're saying that like it was my
there
fault.
You go.
Oh, you're saying that like it was my fault. Like I sent you to the beach. I didn't give you permission to go to the beach, John. You just went. You didn't even tell me you were going to the beach.
That is true. That is. I told you in advance, Mikey. But I didn't tell Parker in advance. So that was like kind of last minute when we saw this cat. I'm like, oops, I'm going to the beach to stay. Not going to be around. And it's like, yeah. And then, you had to fill. It was a good time. This time around, Mike,
it was a good time.
Maybe. I mean, it was a good time for me. I don't know about you. I had a great time. And looking at the series, again, you look at one move in Rune Eaters, right? They did go 2-1 last time, but EEU DPC Tour Tree Div 1 has not had a 3-game series yet. So, maybe today is the day we keep it in line 2-0. Who knows, Mike?
Thank you for the curse, Jonathan. One move. They're going to start moving in for the bounties. So will Rune Eaters. Like Miller Joel won't go for the counter here. So it should be a 2-for-2 trade unless Afterlife wasn't able to take one off carry either. So it is going to be a 2-for-2 to get things started here. And while we're around, we may as well start with the bottom lane. Of course, you are going to have Afterlife on the offlane LC against Cowrie and TA2000 on the Bloodseeker and Snapfire combination. John, this combo of the Snapfire Blood, while I did say that their draft on Rune Eaters doesn't feel like it has enough stuns and it does feel a little bit greedier, laning stage-wise, they are very strong. And this Bloodseeker Snap, like, you land a nice cookie, Afterlife's going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, and he's already playing solo to get the slow off. Turst leveled up as well. TA2000 knowing that they can drop Afterlife pretty low safely without too much of a trade, and does get some benefit to how low the heroes will be. You mentioned this as well, that they can drop low, though. Up top, they're dropping low here.
I appreciate the tri-lane start here for one move. They do get the Viper down immediately, and this is one great way to contest the Viper off lane, John. We know Viper doesn't do too well with a bad start. Against Bane, Mirana, and Sniper in one lane, it's going to feel impossible. Mind you, though, the Mirana has TP'd now, so say you're going to rejoin with Afterlife, and it does seem like they just wanted that first blood to be acquired.
Just need to build up that start they want on Knight. Start to get that sniper going. Keep it. I'd say you'd want some levels here. That's the key thing with that early kill on Viper, right? Because Doom is a very greedy support. He's going to want levels as well. He's going to dip into the jungle, try to get some creeps if the camps aren't blocked, and they aren't. So the key thing is for Knight to just have the level advantage, start to take some levels and take aim, maybe even headshot if he wants to harass back. And once you're comfortable distance away from the creep wave, the threat of Viper kind of disappears. What's a Doom going to do to you? He's going to have to run up. You've got the Bane who can just Nightmare cut off that initiation and just buy your sniper time to run away. So I think that's the way to go. Is we did get a go and then an immediate sec from Panto. It looks like Afterlife's also going to have to fix some issues here.
Yeah, we've got the 3 on our screen now, John. It's been a while since we've had a number on the screen with the game is unpausing. Well, there you go. Classic, I want to say SCA pause here, John, from EEU. Very good to see, making us feel very welcome in a newer region for you and I. So get to have our nice conversation. Jonathan, considering you did just come back from vacation, I'm going to put you on the hot seat here. How was the beach, Jonathan?
Oh, it was lovely, Mike. You know, it was a 10-minute boat ride, white sands, nice sun. Good time swimming. We brought her dog. She could not swim, which is funny to watch, but also pretty damn sad because, you know, she's a poodle, right? They're supposed to be hunting dogs. They're supposed to be working dogs. They should be able to swim. Not quite. So it was kind of funny watching her struggle, but what isn't a struggle is getting that unpause going. Not as bad as C here, Mike. We are back in the game.
Absolutely. Of course, we were just talking about that top lane where you did see that first blood acquired. Of course, the Mirana did rotate now, though, so say you're just going to be, again, with Afterlife on DLC. That should make sure Afterlife does have a much easier laning stage against the Bloodseeker Snapfire, so happy days for him. And Seiyu, nice little arrow there onto the Bloodseeker, but I believe he did want the range creep. No real point arrowing the Bloodseeker like that anyway.
You don't really have a strong aggressive presence here for one move. You don't have kill threat with Mirana. It's not like you're running the Sand King off lane. You do shift the LC here. And
top lane. Arrow, he's in big trouble here, Jonathan. They do secure another kill onto the Viper. Is now Cloud. He's trying to get aggressive with Pantomime. Just going for more now as Knight was backing him up on the sniper, and the Doom could not find a trade at all in this offlane. And I suppose this is why the POS 1 sniper pick was such a great pick here from one move. Against the Viper, you can't abuse this hero on the laning stage anymore.
No, he's got pretty decent range. No levels in the take aim yet, but he can kind of harass back with a headshot. You've got a great defensive support and Pantomime to just cut off again. If the Doom or Viper want to run up, you've always got Nightmare. And we're reaching that point where Knight is pretty well protected. He has the Wraith Band, he's flying out Boots, and keeping Chase on the Sniper with Boots plus the Bane keeping guard. It's going to be tough to find that angle, and for Rune Eaters, this kind of offlane start, you mentioned it, a Viper doesn't want to start from behind here, Mike. He needs to build up, he needs to get that EXP, hit those spikes. If he doesn't, it starts to lag behind a bit here.
It certainly does, and you'll see Arrow kind of intervening with a small camp. But let's talk about that mid lane we're looking at. You've got Haze and Millijul in the mid lane here. Of course, the mid Sand King making a reappearance against the mid Puck as Arrow. Oh, boy. And that's rough, John. I mean, 3 deaths during the laning stage. This is just a dual lane you're against now as well. I don't see how you lane this Viper anymore. Like, he's still level 2 against level 3 Bane and Sniper, and you're just seeing it. One Nightmare into a Shrapnel, and he's just as good as dead.
Yeah. I mean, at the least, Cloud on the Doom still farming up, right? Like, he is playing the offlane. Our Viper is technically the support, so you don't mind sacrificing like that as long as the Doom gets some equal footing. The farm is still a bit slow for the Doom, though. 9 to 5 on CS. Sniper has a great time just harassing from range, and again, that threat isn't there. Cloud's not able to find any big creeps as well, and the camp is blocked now, so next time around they clear it. If they do manage to get a nice pull there, it might not be easy enough for Doom to find that presence, and it does feel like Doom does rely on that for laning. Still, back to your point onto that mid, right? We were taking a look there on Millijul on Sand King up against Haze on the Puck, and Millijul's having a fantastic time. Look at his movements. Clearing out the small camp on his side, clearing out the small camp on Rune Eater's side, just building up that gold. And the Puck does have good range advantage. It does have almost equal wave clear. I'd say maybe the Sand King has a little bit better, with Caustic Finale being constant threat. Level 6 could be really nice for Haze if he does get a Dream Coil and maybe a combo setup from his allies. Maybe a support rotation or 2 coming in, mainly from the Snapfire, not really from the Viper. You could look for that play, but if you allow this lane to be that static, Millijul hits some early spikes. A quick blink here would give one move all the aggression they need.
Top lane Panto looked like he wanted to go for a Nightmare there, but won't bother trying. Just fighting over the large camp. Is Knight on the sniper, and Arrow again just has to be very careful. Even if he's not the offlaner, you don't want to feel too many kills away here to the sniper. Of all things, you know, we've all gone against the farm sniper once upon a time. His bot lane, Afterlife, we chased down a little bit, but he's going to be fine to walk his way out on the LC. Seiyu unable to land an arrow to try and turn anyway, and TA2000 still having a pretty decent laning stage, though I must admit Afterlife not having too bad of a start himself on the LC. Thought the lane would be much worse for the Legion Commander, but Afterlife so far having a decent enough time.
getting levels up, double bracer up, is going for just to press the attack move to Courage. We're having a bit of a talk about theoretically going for Magical, though up top, Cloud's in trouble again.
Oh boy, here we go. Cloud, he's the bigger target. They'll move in. He will try to make a run as the Nightmare is there to try and save Panto, but he might drop. Instead now, Arrow is going to be the target of Knight. He'll still get a positive trade. No matter how you look at that, you might find a Pos 5 Bane, but you give a Pos Force Viper away, and of all things, it's going to the Sniper every single time. Knight, he's a happy man.
Yeah, drops the cool shades down, knowing that his lane's in a pretty good position. And Cloud, you know, he's finding farm. He finds the mana burn creep, which can be annoying. Issue is walking up to the Sniper to use that mana burn against a tough prospect. See, every time he walks up to the creep wave, you're ready to go with Knight and Pantomime. And just get the Nightmare off, spam the Shrapnel out, you can't run. And it's just pretty overwhelming from one move to have the strong start up top. The Sniper's up there in CS, behind only the mids, kind of keeping up. TA2000, you mentioned him having a free lane, but the Sniper scaling just feels a lot scarier. Sure, Bloodseeker has a good spike, and the combinations are still on hand for Rune Eaters, but how do you jump the Sniper? It feels like that's all in on just expecting Haze to be able to find that angle in these team fights.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's going to be a very, very tough time. And I think Fear kind of mentioned as well, the Bloodseeker can run quite fast. So if you do land a Rupture tonight later on, you should be having a nice enough time dealing with him. But see how that all pans out later on in the game. Of course, shout out to Knight for giving us a shout out, Jonathan, by pasting that sticker. Obviously, he's doing that because we're casting the game. Very nice bat chest there from Knight. As a bit of a shame that one move didn't go with our pictures instead, John. But what can you do? We'd probably cost too much anyway. Let's be fair.
Yeah, that's true, Mike. Well, you know, I don't cost too much, Mike. I'm a very cheap guy to get us. The Dreamcoil's down bot.
Yeah, bot lane, Afterlife is going to drop. And if you couldn't tell, Jonathan, I was being rather sarcastic. We don't charge anything for stickers.
We don't charge much for anything. We're just happy to be noticed, Mikey. Still, nice kill out from Haze. We talked about the puck having to build some momentum up. Does find nice, easy momentum kill. LC, again, not very protected by the Mirana support. Is just going to have to cop it for the team. But it's giving Melojule a really free mid. Look at that CS. 76-3. The small camps never being blocked. Melojule just has complete control of the lane. Boots up, blink next within 300 gold. And that timing early on for one move is going to be online really quick.
Epicenter, going to be channeled up. Is cancelled, but now they've got the Viper, so it could be a free kill here for the Sand King. Melojule gonna opt to hold out on that and just walk away as, well, top lane Cloud, he's in big trouble. He'll go for a TP out at Knight. Not gonna have any shrapnels to get the vision of the tree line, so the Doom is gonna be just fine to TP away, but it still means a great laning stage for Knight, who's just having the freest time of his life. Second in net worth right now on the Sniper is Arrow. He's moving in, but he's all alone. Panto, he'll land a Nightmare. You've got one shrapnel to play with, but they've got a double damage. Look at this. I'm not sure what Arrow was trying to do there, John, but it certainly didn't work out for him.
No, he was trying to harass out Knight. Maybe he thought he had an opening. They did see the Bane walk back in. Well, the ward spotted it a bit late when he was already coming in, but did have maybe some time to back off. It's a bit too deep already into that move. Does get punished. A very strong start for one move. You have this insanely great lane for Knight. You have this pretty much free lane for Melojule. Like, this Sand King is going to be a massive issue. Blink already up 9 minutes in with a Bracer and Brown Boots. He's ready to go. You can threaten now with a Blink, Burrow Strike, Arrow. Just take all these ganks that you want. And for Rune Eaters, it feels like they still need levels. Your Doom is at 6, doesn't have Doom up yet. Your Bloodseeker does have Rupture if you want to go. And they're looking down bot here from one move.
Well, Cowrie's going to back off the right moment, though he is still sticking around the LC, so they might make the jump in. Though Melojule, he does see the Bloodseeker, he does make the jump in now. Burrow Strike does land, Arrow, no, Cookie! Oh, it's still not going to avoid it. It only makes it worse. Nice Cookie attempt from Cowrie, but it still doesn't work out.
And that was... It looked like a really tough angle as well for Sayu, because the creep was just about to die from the epicenter, so... If it actually stayed alive, if that creep wave was equalized a little bit better, you might have missed out on that opportunity here for one move. But they get the aggression off. As we said, the blink timing here for Melojule just means you've got this threat from your mid and your pause 4. And now Afterlife can take the angle to come in, take the dual win, build up the charges, build up those victories, and start to do some damage. All the while, buying all the space for a Knight up top. He's just jungling up perfectly fine. Mask of Madness set to go. There's no solution yet for the Sniper. And it still boils down to that point earlier, Mike. You need to have Haze ready to go. He is working onto the Witchblade. He does have Dream Coil at the ready, but with this draft, it's all in on Puck to be your initiation. You can maybe expect follow-through from your Snapfire. They are committing down bot here.
Yeah, they're going to try it. Rupture is up. They should at least get Afterlife, and it seems like Afterlife has accepted his death. They'll try for a bit more now. Who have they got? Dream Coil. Not landing on anything. I believe they were trying to find Seiyu blind, but he runs the other way. Meanwhile, top lane, Fiend's Grip is out. Cloud is going to die as Melajul able to pick up another kill onto the Sand King. As Seiyu, he does get himself out of there, no issues. So not a bad kill from the side of the Radiant, but at the same time, it ends up being an even trade because they find the offlane Doom.
Now you're really happy here for one move. All your movement across the map. Sure, you're sacrificing a couple of cores and taking some of these cores now in that last engage. But the key thing is that Knight is farming. Whereas for TA2000, he had to be in the bot lane. He had to use Rupture. He had to be present for that engagement. Knight's just jungling up. Again, Mask of Madness up, building up here. The Bloodseeker, TA2000 still about to hit a decent timing on Maelstrom. So you can kind of keep up pace, but one move just never rest. Immediate smoke out, epicenter back up, no grip, but the arrow burst strike is still a really big threat here.
Certainly is. Melajul, Seiyu, they're going to wrap around from the backside here into the mid lane. They're going to find the Snapfire immediately. No hesitation, right in. Epicenter is going to be saved as well by Melajul, as they do actually Nightmare to avoid the Blood Rite as well. Panto, I'm not sure that was necessary, John. I believe Melo was going to get out of range anyway, but well, this Bane's flexing right now. Johnny's having a great game.
He's had a great laning start. Doesn't want to give any openings inside of Rune Eaters. Rune Eater still has this dangerous mid-game timing. Your heroes come in line fairly fast. Your Doom has Midas. You know, you're devouring up. You're building up. Eventually, you'll have that Blink BKB timing in the Doom to relieve some of the pressure on Puck for initiation. And that's when you can really start to play. So one move just doesn't want to give that opportunity early. They've got the Moonlight. They're still looking at mid here.
Yeah, this is smart. Smoke rotation, though, from the Rune Eaters, so they are going to avoid this ganking coming, instead heading up towards the top lane. Sad part about that, though, the only person up at top lane is Panto right now, so you're committing a 3-man smoke just for a +5 Bane. It's not going to feel amazing in Panto. If he gets out of this, it's even worse, as they do break the smoke. Surely they know, and they do find it. They'll get something for their trouble, but they are going to have to move into the top tier 1 tower. Problem is, John, mid tier 1 is being forced in. You don't really want to go for this kind of trade as Rune Eaters.
No, and they're going to be able to find an objective at the least. If the mid was committed upon for Moon Move, that would be major loss. They don't go fully into it. They still expect a bit of a defense coming out from Rune Eaters, and do just kind of take your time, buying out all that space for Knight, who's playing in the triangle. Still no vision out, no contestation onto the sniper, while also overtaking that bot jungle with Afterlife. Already has that Blade Mail up on the LC, so even more forward presence from their tanky heroes on the Sand King and the LC here. The top jungle invasion from Rune Eaters maybe allows them a bit of an opportunity to go onto the sniper. They drop a very nice aggressive ward here. So next time around, if one move does play in the area, it could be punished. But one move reads this really well. They just hold on to mid, they play and dip into that bot jungle and triangle, and they just don't give any access points for Rune Eaters just yet.
Melajul going for an epi. Burrow Strike going to be avoided, though. Kaori realizing it was coming, as now the Sand King has been ruptured up and is in big trouble with a great Dream Coil setup. They are going to burn here on the side of one move. They will drop 2. Melajul and Fat Panto both going down, as Hazy wants to go for a bit more, but Afterlife is going to show up on the LC, and that'll be enough to back them out of there. Rune Eaters finding a great team fight for themselves, and it was off the back of a missed Burrow Strike. Rather, a very nice juke out from Kaori.
Yeah, it's a missed Burrow Strike and a really nice on-the-edge cookie. He got the stun off on the Sand King, instead providing that turnaround for Rune Eaters, and one move gonna have to lick their wounds a bit. It equalizes the game here, 6-8. 1k lead still stands for one move. Their sniper is still building up, but you are allowing now this slightly greedier lineup from Rune Eaters to build up. Haze catching up to the Sand King nicely. Cloud with a Midas getting into that BKB timing on the Doom. And for one move, I mean, as this game scales on, it does feel like you start to pour more and more into the sniper. Knight is going for a BKB next to protect himself as well, but you have enough solutions to that, it feels like, from Rune Eaters. You've got the Viper Strike coming through, you've got the Rupture, even the Doom could be a threat onto any BKB target, so you're not fully protected in one move. Again, still has to play a bit safe. Great wards once more from Rune Eaters. watching that river, watching that ramp side on the north side, so they can start to get aggressive and punish some of these supports going outside.
Oh, Panto. Look at that sentry, John. He just placed that. It's just out of range of the observer. Oh, that hurts. It really, really hurts. He even gives his life away for that attempt, and that was the observer ward that kind of screwed them up last team fight. But they are still going to jump in onto the Bloodseeker with the Blade Mail and the Duel out. They'll have plenty of damage. Nice move from One Move. However, a great dream call out from Hayes trying to turn this one around as they are still going onto the LC. Now the Doom out onto the Sand King. Can they get a deny off? They can, Knight. He'll get it as now Cloud. He's in big trouble on the Doom. He's going to drop. Oh, that's not a great fight at all. Hayes, he's going to orb out of there. But that mid-tier 1 tower, it's going to drop the way of One Move. And, well, they got absolutely everything they could have asked for. Not even the Doom securing a kill for them.
No, and One Move played their cards right. They were a bit clumped up for that Dream Coil, but they managed to remove the big equation there. The big part of that equation of success for Rune Eaters, not allowing the kisses to fly through. They get that kill in the snap, they know they can take a full team fight, they know there's not enough to follow through from the control of Hayes, and his damage output isn't maximized just yet. So you can turn around, you sacrifice your Sand King with 9, not a big deal. You get a free, well, not a free, but a dual win on Afterlife, and now you have the blink on the LC. So you've got more ways to initiate. You're not just piggybacking off your Sand King. You have the option to go for dual arrow as well as from the fog as a really potent combination from One Move. And they keep control of this game very nicely. For Rune Eaters, they will smoke up. They don't have Doom. Dream Coil up in a second, so maybe they find that opportunity with the kisses here.
Well, they might find Panto. That's about all they're going to get, I think. The Melajul, he's thinking about going in. Nightmare is there from Panto to hold back the Bloodseeker as Cowrie and Arrow do move their way over. They're going to find the Sand King here with Hayes and the Dream Coil. They've got him locked down, so it's a much bigger pick-off. And he does go. Not a bad smoke whatsoever here from Rune Eaters as now Panto Mem may just get caught out as well. They know he's in the tree line somewhere and they are going to drop him. Hayes with a double. And that's a much better smoke than we've seen so far from Rune Eaters. They're now Afterlife. Well, they do show up, but I highly doubt they can force a fight here, One Move. And they won't.
Oh, they smoke up, though. I think they know, because Dream Coil's down and Kisses are down. The big combination for Rune Eaters to combine onto a big group is kind of gone here.
Oh, they've got the blink up as well here, John. Afterlife. He's got the initiation now. They haven't seen it yet, so Afterlife can jump right in onto the Snapfire, and they'll have plenty of damage. More dual damage to go the way of Afterlife now, stacking it up to 40, and that's always a great feeling for the LC.
Yeah, and you're also having your sniper around in that area, a little bit of gold and EXP flowing his way from the AoE. And you've got this BKB sniper now. So Rune Eaters, their control for the sniper isn't as great. Great grip.
Yeah, Fiend's Grip is out. Hold him down. They had an Observer Ward right there on the staircase, and John, it expires just as they Fiend's Grip. So he gets the vision, gets the Fiend's Grip, Observer Ward expires, and now Rune Eaters, they're probably going to spend the next minute trying to find where this ward is.
Yeah, I mean, they've already got a sentry down. They didn't spot it last time. And now the investment in resources from the supports is going to be in there. And that kind of hurts their supports. You know, Snapfire is a support that feels like it needs a couple of items as well to add on to the utility. We're not going to see something like, say, the Blink and the Shard come through, which could be another initiation tool for Rune Eaters, because you're on the pause 5. You have to be sacrificial here. Your Doom, again, has been sitting on that BKB for quite some time. No pop yet from Cloud, not seeing the opportunity. Blink is still incoming. Movement up top here, though.
Panto, again, on the front lines, always willing to give his life away if he has to on this Bane. And immediate D-Ward out here as Cowrie did not want to reveal his position behind that tree line, though. Hayes will jump in for a bit of harassment out, but Panto's going to be just fine. They've got Afterlife around John, and he's got that jewel back up, so it could be scary times here for Rune Eaters. They will back off at the right moment, though. They won't fall victim to the LC, but they won't find anything for their trouble either. In fact, they are remaining grouped up as a team, which is a bit of a shame, because they are falling behind in net worth here, John, and with the kind of draft they have, I mean, you've got a POS 3 Doom on your team. You never want to be behind like this. But One Move, they are always ahead in terms of net worth.
Yeah, they're just good at forcing these fights away from Knight. You know, and they make that move up top. Knight is farming very far away from those two supports, knowing that he's protected, knowing that Rune Eaters are close to that area because of the wards. And the question still stands here, Mike. What do you do about Knight and the Sniper? It still feels like it's all in on the puck. Maybe again with a blink up on Cloud down the line, he'll have another angle to take Knight out. But, you know, take Amos up. He's got Dragonlance. This guy has a hell lot of range, 1090. How do you jump him? And one move. They know they've got an advantage. They will go for another smoke play here.
One move.
Radiant
Here we go. We'll see what they can find. The Radiant Triangle right now is not occupied by Rune Eaters, so one move gonna have to head north towards their own dire jungle to try and find somebody. Big targets there though. TA2000 was hanging around. Cloud's there as well, and in fact you've got Arrow as well, but they're gonna run right into the Bloodseeker. That's the one target you really want, and they're gonna get the dual victory as well. No issues here for one move, and well, if you're Rune Eaters, you just lost your POS 1. It's a very rough time here for this Radiant team.
Yeah, and just go into Roshan now if you're one move. There is some good team fight from Rune Eaters, but they're very far away from that area. Full retreat from the top jungle, and that's the opening for one move to just clear out Roshan. You've got the damage on your Sniper, you've got the durability from Afterlife, you've got some team fight coming through from Melojule. You do still have the grip as well from Pantomime. Pantomime has a blink already, Mike, on that Pawns 5 Bane, so positioning's not going to be a big issue for him in the middle of these team fights if he plays his cards right, and just goes back to that shortcoming of Rune Eater's lineup. Like, they are so reliant on the puck and the Doom blink timing to jump that back line. Sniper's going to be a million miles away. Bane's going to be very patient with the blink. So even if you do get that jump in, there's always the threat of a Nightmare save, of a grip to delay that fight and find an angle back in. The team fights for Rune Eaters just feels tough. And as you mentioned, Mike, you know, they're playing around those stairs. They do plant their own obs here. They do have that fresh blink on Cloud. So the blink Doom is up. I don't think we've seen a Doom recently at all from Cloud, except that one time on mid. So we're going to have to see some of that investment on the Doom pay off. The Midas has been keeping up. You know, it's been allowing Cloud to keep up despite this slower pace for Rune Eaters. But man, one move is just working the map so well. Like, Knight is just insanely farmed. Everyone else, not so much. Melojule, kind of middle of the pack, Afterlife, bottom network core, but they don't need too much farm on either of those heroes for the start they have. They're just buying space for their big win condition to keep growing bigger.
Still a very tough time. I mean, I do agree with you on that, John. And again, with the draft that Rune Eaters have, it's going to be pretty hard to catch up and try to contest late game against the POS 1 Sniper. Even the POS 3 LC, with all the scaling, rather the infinite scaling you can have, can be kind of a disaster to try and fight this one out. And well, at least TA2000 now, he does have the BKB up. And like you mentioned, they've got the blink up on the Doom. So it might be around that time for them to push out this mid wave and commit for a smoke. They've got to get a surprise reveal on these big items. It is a very nice power spike now for Rune Eaters. Problem is, one move, they might have to make the first move here as the Doom is out, but it's way too early. They can just counter-initiate. Melojule's in. The Doom's gone. Oh, that was way too early. On to Arrow they go. They'll get the Viper. And now the Doom's going to wear off. Hayes, he doesn't know Afterlife's right behind him. This could be a disaster for the puck, but he will get a glimpse and blink away. They won't lose any more, but that was a very desperate attempt here from the Doom.
That was really awkward as well. You had vision here from Rune Eaters with that ward on the cliff. They saw the Sandstorm from Melojule, and they still jumped the LC first. No backup, no Dream Coil to hold. Forced to use the kisses, so even if they get Dream Coil out, then they wouldn't have the follow-through damage. And one move, again, just on top. Their game sense is looking really strong. Their movement on the map is fantastic. They're forcing Rune Eaters to play into their hands. And their positioning every single time. One move just gaps themselves so well. They're not allowing that same mistake down from mid a while ago, where they're clumped up for a 3-4 man Dream Coil. They're clumped up for the kiss. It's not happening anytime soon. And it's just so easy to keep yourselves protected. Your Bane, again, with that blink is great. Your Sniper stands from a mile off. They're forcing still.
That's a very brave jump in from Afterlife, all by himself. He doesn't even get taken down. But now, big Burrow Strike, Melojule with a great setup into the Fiend's Grip. That's the first BKB charge for the Bloodseeker, but they do at least cancel. Still Hayes is gone, onto the Doom they go. Cloud is gone to boot.
Here's a blade in your eye.
They're just finding nothing. That was a very aggressive blink in from Afterlife, and he just doesn't get punished.
I mean, it's all down to them also having an obs on this cliff. They do get the D ward. I feel like you could just leave that ward. Use it as bait. Rune Eaters have been playing around that area twice in a row now, and both times doesn't pan out. They have that opportunity to go mid, minute and a half on the Aegis. Lots of time here for the sniper to get the damage off. And I mean, this has been the story of the entire game, but Knights had a consistent, overwhelming lead over everyone else. 15k on the sniper, 5k above any core from the side of Rune Eaters. And look at the movement. Pantomime just cutting them off at the triangle, playing in the lane. He knows he's protected. He knows that even if he dies, that's just so much space for this push down mid for them to use that Aegis up well. And he's just scouting out what Rune Eaters wants to do. They will TP in. They'll make a move up here, maybe find that flank onto the mid from the high ground on the triangle.
Oh. Was that underneath an observer ward? No, it wasn't one moves. They don't know. But the Bane does break the smoke. Cloud is going to try to move in with the Corky, but Knight is right behind. Look at the damage. And they didn't even get the Bane. Well, they do eventually. But how much are they going to pay for this? Haze is gone. GG.
They called it.
They have to. It's way too one-sided. This sniper pick, this last pick sniper up from one move, it was absolute genius, John. I mean, how much did they just shut down the off lane of Rune Eaters? And that's your pos 3 Doom and your pos 4 Viper. And they were just completely useless the whole game.
Yeah, they didn't have impact or dual lane. Again, there's a process for that lane to work. You know, you could try playing aggressive with the Doom with a good creep. You could try to leverage the damage of your Viper, but the solution from one move was really good. Defensive Bane, great positioning, the sniper to hit from a mile away, and have some really good slows on hand and damage to kind of deal with him early on. I think for Rune Eaters, it feels like they kind of cornered themselves into a drafting corner a bit, right? Like they open up with that Doom and, you know, Bloodseeker, right? Like that came out really early on and just left all of these openings for mind games to kind of, for one move, sorry, to kind of build around their draft and kind of capitalize. And we talked about one move, right? Like they love picking that sniper. They flex it on offlane, they run it on safe here. And this is a team with really unique ideas for the draft, and Rune Eaters have to be ready for that one year.
It was a great game number 1. We'll see how it goes for game number 2. Of course, we are going to head off to a very short break, and run after the break, we'll be back with our beautiful panel for game number 2's draft. We'll see you then.